is drying up from the wet nasties. What another week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Courtesy Call, the podcast where I rant about politics, world affairs, and societal issues. I am your host, Scott Perry, and it is Sunday, July 11th, 2021, and we are drying up a bit from a very wet week this past week. As some of you who don't live under a rock know that we've had quite a bit of rain in the past week or so, including being hit by Tropical Storm Elsa, who passed over the storm passed over the East Coast this past week, including hitting New Hampshire on Friday around the afternoon, and passing over Maine and heading up towards Nova Scotia. So it's been a pretty wet one, and it probably ruined a lot of the people's plans out there, including some of you listeners maybe. I know for me, it ruined a bit of the Independence Day plans last week, which I'll talk a little bit more about later throughout the episode. But hey, at least we are hammering down on the drought we have had for quite a while now, right? We've had a moisture deficiency for like months and months and months, which, with the hot weather coming through, it has dried up, the ground quite a bit, and has dried up some of our lakes and our rivers. And for a while, they were talking about, it becoming critical to not having much water flowing through the canals and such, and that we desperately needed rain. Well, guess what? We got it. And I don't care what some of these scientists say, because, the claims of the rain not making a difference towards the drought up here in the Northeast, I call horse crap on that. I think that's a complete BS, because I think that the rain that has came through, it's a large amount. How could it not contribute? The levels must be really low, but I'm not saying it's going to fully, cure or satisfy the drought or get rid of the drought entirely. I'm just saying that it has helped. It has definitely helped. And we're all in agreement there. It's a lot of rain coming through. A lot of moisture. So, but we've had for a while now all this rain, and it was good to take in much needed rain and to help out our environment, because that's what we want to do. We want to help the environment and make sure the areas and the environment that we live in are well maintained. So let's see. The nasty weather hasn't been the only thing this past week that has been quite ugly. Ugh. Let's see what's been going on in the headlines. Yes, let's talk about the other guy, the former guy. Now, when I say the former guy, I think you guys know who I'm talking about. It's what other people and other sources and shows have been referring to as the former guy. Number 45 has been making a lot of ridiculous claims this past week. A lot of craziness. Probably a little bit more crazy than he has been for a while. The orange guy decided to make an announcement, and his spokesman Mike Lindell from MyPillow has made a claim stating, and mark your calendars, that on the 13th of August, which I believe is a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday. The 13th of August is when the former guy will become president again. Will be reinstated and become president from this point on. As if that happens. According to, like I said, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, that's the date, August 13th, next month. That's when the former guy will become president again, because I don't know, facts he says, things he has, all this evidence we've been waiting to see for, since November. He's got all this evidence, but yet we haven't seen it yet. And I think Trevor Noah's sidekick, Jordan Klepper, said it best in one of his latest segments when he actually talked to Mike Lindell. it's like all these claims of, Trumpy Trump becoming, president again, being reinstated all of a sudden, is kind of like Bigfoot. And all this evidence is kind of like Bigfoot. It's, you hear about it, people talk about it, they tell tales about it, but you never see it. You never see it. It's like the old weathered man saying, oh, you're going to see the photos of Bigfoot someday. You're going to see the photos of Bigfoot. They're coming. And we never see legitimate facts or facets of truth of Bigfoot. And all the photos that you do see is a bunch of hogwash. That's how I feel about the claims of, the former guy becoming president again out of nowhere before 2024. So they say August 13th, 2024 or before. They say August 13th of 2021, but they say 2024 or before. There's no before. That does not happen. Nobody's doing that. So I find it humorous, and I'm sure a lot of people out there find it quite humorous that he's hawking so much BS that he's going to be reinstated. It's quite funny. On the other hand, the former guy is also whining and complaining that, his company is being under lawsuit, being looked at and investigated for his fraud, that there was no fraud. There's zero fraud. And that what his CFO has done, I think it was Mr. Weisselberg, I talked about last week, what he has done was his own fault. He's going to get fired. And, it wasn't any of my doing, which I think is complete BS because he knew this. I mean, this has been going on for past 10 years. How do you run a company and not know what's going on with your top CFO and knowing how, thoroughly interested Trump is with his finances? How does he not know or have any clue that his CFO has been committing tax fraud and has been hiding statements and forging numbers from the government, for years and years and years? How do you not know that? That's something you have to think. You're running a company. It's your pride and joy. It's one of your babies. It's one of your main generators of your income, and put your life together and keeps things going. And you're not going to look, at least investigate every now and then to see how things are going. You're not going to even check the books, make sure things are going fluent, and make sure things are going well. That seems a little weird. And knowing the personality of Trump, how could you say that's so? He's checking the books like probably every week. Never mind every month or every year. He's checking it every week, making sure it's right where he needs to, right where he wants it. And I'm sure he knew where he wanted it. He wanted it right in his own pocket. He didn't want to pay any of it. And don't forget that this money was millions of dollars that could have gone into employee compensation to compensate employees for various things. Instead, it went into private schools, apartments for his buddies and for some of his family, and say private school, I think, and then a couple other things. But and luxury cars. Oh yeah, that's right, luxury cars. So it's I don't know. But I can tell you that our current guy, our wonderful President Biden, recently took action against the Trump's posse of corrupt cronies. Recently, let's see, there was the Social Security Administration, the head of Social Security Administration, who refused to resign. Was supposed to resign, a long time ago, has refused, and so President Biden chose to fire him. It was one of those, we don't want you anymore. You've done some bad. We have evidence you've done some bad. So here's what you can do. You can resign or we will fire you. And so he refused to resign. And so President Biden decided to fire him. So he's, let's see, Biden, according to Associated Press, it says here that Biden asked Commissioner Andrew Saul to resign, and his employment was terminated last Friday after he refused the Democratic president's request, a White House official said. Deputy Commissioner David Black agreed to resign, said the official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss personal matters. Both officials have been put in place under President Donald Trump, the former guy. I'm just going to say the former guy. A Republican, of course, obviously. Biden named Kilo, pardon me if I pronounce this wrong, Kijakazi as acting commissioner while the administration conducts a search for a permanent commissioner and deputy commissioner. So, bravo, Mr. President. Good job, President Biden, for cleaning out the garbage from Social Security Administration, taking out the trash, and firing those who are doing corrupt behavior. I'm assuming you can blame both of these guys who have been tossed out for corrupting Social Security, for taking over Social Security benefits and putting it towards other things, putting a hole in Social Security, and totally abusing the funding program and the funds for Social Security for people who need it, people who collect or people who have it. He was, pretty much, corrupting the system. The thing is, though, is that you can't. Yes, Social Security has been abused for years, but I mean, with these two guys in the office, they were making things much worse in there. Like I said, committing a lot of fraud, hoarding a lot of money, cooking the books, putting a hole in some of the finances, and just running amok. And don't need that. Don't need it. I mean, people are actually going to do some good, actually help Social Security, help restore it, not try to destroy it. And these two guys were destroying it. So, good call. Like I said, again, Mr. President, get some people in there actually going to do Social Security Administration some good, make it healthy, make it grow and save it, make it do well for those who need it, and help serve our country very well and help do our people well. So, good stuff. Good leadership. Some bad leadership, some good leadership. Also in headlines this past week, speaking of leadership, very sad, very unfortunate news that the president of Haiti, for some of you who may not know, the president of Haiti has been assassinated. This past week, there was a breakout in Haiti, and it was fights that broke out over political battle, political rhetoric, and what happened was there was a violent fallout from the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse, and was found evident on Friday. They burned out, some of these people burned out cars. They shot out bullet rounds all over buildings. They found bullet casings, blood stains, bullet-packed walls were what remained of a shootout between the police and some of the suspected assassins on Route D. Kenzoff. It says, according to a blog put up by major news network CNN, it states that the armed group are professional killers consisting more than 24 people, including 2 American citizens and retired members of the Colombian military, authorities have said. But as more details begin to emerge of the people who allegedly killed Moïse, little is known about the suspected masterminds and their motivation for the attack. Police have so far arrested 20 suspects in connection to the fatal shooting, and a mass countrywide manhunt is underway for at least 5 additional suspects, police previously said. That 28 people are suspected in the assassination, and for those who did not see the video, it was a video of journalists and news reporters taking camera footage of all the suspects in the shooting and in the assassination, sitting down up against the wall in some facility, and being called up for, I believe, justice. So, so yes, very sad news in the country of Haiti. Apparently he was doing something that weren't in their interest. Obviously they were against, and, so they ended up taking action, very violent action, and taking violent, a violent response, and killed the president of Haiti. So again, the president of Haiti, Jovenel Moise, was assassinated this past week by his people. More details will be brought up and announced as the days and weeks progress with the investigation. So, and speaking of shootings and assassinations, or not assassinations, but shootings in general and killings, there have been more mass shootings, and we can't act like we're shocked here, that there were tons and tons of shootings on Independence Day. And your question and my question should be, why? Why on a day do you celebrate independence? Do you celebrate a free country, good things, and have fun and spend time with, it's a time to spend time with family, friends, enjoy fireworks, have a cookout, have a few drinks, to show true American pride. Do we disgrace this country and then we make the country look bad by committing more violent shootings? That's beyond me. Beyond me. They say, according to sources, here in the U.S., we had about 400 shootings over Independence Day. 400 shootings on Independence Day. Let's see, there's shootings on Independence Day, according to the first NPR. This is one of my other sources I like to go to for information. It says more than 180 people. It could have been worse. But still, you look at it as it is 180 people. 180 people were killed in shootings across the country over the 4th of July holiday weekend last weekend. According to data compiled by the Gun Violence Archive and reviewed by NPR, by 11:30 p.m. on Monday, the Gun Violence Archive reported 189 people killed and 516 injured. Again, it could be worse. It could be much worse. I understand. With 400 shootings, I'm surprised it's not anywhere above the thousands. I'm shocked. So let's be very thankful that was not more people. But however, it was 189 people. 189 people, too many. With 516 people injured in the shootings over the course of a 72-hour period. Not a 72-hour week. Not 72 days, not 72 weeks. 72 hours starting Friday. Friday before that, obviously, I believe it was July 1st, 2nd? What was last Friday? Last Friday was the 2nd. That's right. Last Friday was the 2nd. So starting from that point in time to the following Monday, in 72 hours, a total of 189 people were killed, 516 people were injured, and a total that were more than 540 shootings over the holiday weekend, which is outrageous. Taking it that maybe these were one-on-one shootings, very low crowd shootings. You have... looking at the numbers, it's probably, it's possible that it could have been only a couple people, 2 or 3 people, maybe 4, battling it out, 5 at the most. But over 540 shootings over the holiday weekend, the organization reported. Those numbers may increase, and get this, they say the numbers may increase as the organization continues to collect statistics over the weekend. To think there's any more than that in a 72-hour period is outrageous. My question, of course, as you know, is coming. is, when does it end? When does it end? When is enough enough? When is it enough, huh? For me, it's like it should have been enough like from day one, a long time ago. And we're still continuing to have mass shootings, and they can continue to still happen. And they continue to happen throughout the country. Safety being invaded, raising concerns, raising nerves, fear, and I said concerns, and a lot of animosity, a lot of craziness throughout our country. And there's people out there, and get this, people out there who want to keep guns, who are promoting people to keep having guns in their hands, to make sure guns remain in the hands of us Americans. There's a lot of people out there fighting that, but these shootings keep happening, and people are still supporting guns, or people possessing guns and having it, be passed and bought, personal sales and here and there, making it more apt for a crazy person, a person on a rampage, to grab a gun and go on a shooting spree. Have guns in general, in the hands of Americans in general is ridiculous at this point. At this point, we don't deserve to have firearms. I believe there's certain people out there who do deserve to carry firearms. There's some of us citizens who are responsible, who do the right thing, who don't have a background, who are not foreseen to have any sort of illnesses or disputes. And I understand someone can always turn crazy in like a snap of a finger and a quick moment. I understand that people can, be riddled with hate and not show any signs, but, deep down have a motive and have the mindset to do that. And I understand, a crazy person can turn, a sane person can turn crazy in a quick moment. But, there's people who are definitely foreseen that absolutely will not go on rampages, will not, commit these acts and such. The thing is, though, is that these guns are being put in the hands of people who have backgrounds, who are known for having, a violent record, and are foreseen to commit acts like this. You can look at some of these people and be like, yeah, I could see in the future, soon in the future, you could potentially commit a violent act. They're like a huge red flag. But yet we still put guns in their hands and still make it possible for them to get a hold of a firearm. So again, I ask you gun supporters, you pro-gun supporters, do you still think we should have guns in our hands, even after all these shootings? You think we still need to have firearms in our possession? Answer it. Answer it on our Facebook, or even post it on our Twitter. Let me know. Do you think, after all these mass shootings, not just in the past 10, 20 years or 30 years, I'm talking about in the last year or two, which the numbers have jacked up dramatically. In the past year or two, after all these shootings in the past year or two, do you think that people should have possessions of firearms? Or we should still keep the law the way it is, regarding firearms? Please, I'll love to hear your excuse. I know one of them. One of them is, it takes one good guy to stop the bad guy. Yeah, let me know when you have a label for a good guy and a label for a bad guy. Let me know when you find those labels and are easily able to identify those kind of people and can point them out ahead of time. Let me know, and then I'll back you up and say maybe you have an argument. Until then, that's a lousy excuse. It's a bunch of BS, and things need to be under control. You're just worried about guns being taken out of your hands because you're, I don't know, a testosterone freak, and you think you need to have a firearm to have power. I don't know. Either way, I'm just saying we need to do something about the laws that we have and regulations regarding firearms at this point. So, all right. Well, we are going to take our first quick commercial break of the episode. We come back, I'll talk more into what else our wonderful president has been up to, what other things he's been doing that has been so great. I'll also talk a little bit about the Olympics. Yeah, I did a little sports section here as the Olympics are approaching, and they are political because they represent our country, America, right? So I'll talk more on that, as well as more updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations, more on the headhunt segment, and 2 more societal topics of my choice. A lot more to come here on Courtesy Call.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Does your plug-in fade too fast? Try new Febreze Fade Defy Plug. It has built-in technology to digitally control how much scent is released to smell first day fresh for 50 days. La 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 la.
Subarus are made for winter with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, so you can help your friend when they break down in the middle of nowhere. Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand. That's a Subaru.
The outlook for overpriced pizza has never been better. I mean, who's gonna stop us?
But, sir, Little Caesars has the lowest price pizza delivered, guaranteed.
Price is one thing. Taste is another.
Oh, my word.
That's not good.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. Now get $5 off your first delivery.
Pizza, pizza.
This Bud Light Seltzer lemonade is packed with lemonade flavor.
Yeah, it even has more flavor than my grandma's lemonade.
She still lives here, right?
Yeah, it even has more flavor than grandma's lemonade.
Oh, no.
Guess her hearing is better than we thought.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. Packed with more flavor than grandma's lemonade.
Morning. Can I have a coffee, please?
We can do better than that. How about an acorn spiced latte?
No, thanks.
What about a nitro charcoal brew with dry ice?
Oh, no.
The charcoal purifies the soul.
Just a regular coffee is fine. Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk milks. We got okra milk, we have sloth milk, and then we have fresh unicorn milk. Only $12 extra. Isn't that right, Caliber?
Whoa. I'll just do half and half. And my coffee?
Okay, but first, Fomart.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Okay, you know what? This is ridiculous. I just want a coffee. I'm sorry.
Why does everyone leave us?
Oh, just one.
Jake from State Farm, it's the least I can do. You really did me a solid with that, Maya markdown on my insurance.
Here's the deal, Maya. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
No, really, there are no markdowns, just great rates.
Pull around back in 20 minutes. I'll hook you up with the good parts.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good morning, Mr. Sun.
Good morning, Blair.
Ooh, I'm gonna grow big and strong. Yes, you are.
I'm gonna get this place all clean.
I'll give you a hand. And I'm gonna put Lisa on crutches. Wait, what?
Said she's gonna need crutches. She fell pretty hard. You might want to clean that up, girl. Excuse us.
When owning a small business gets real, Progressive helps protect what you built with customizable coverage.
And I'm gonna...
Donnie, no.
Oh.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. For those who are just joining us, before the break, I talked about several things that have occurred this past week. One of them was about the former guy and talking about his ludicrous claims that he is going to be, his sidekick, Mike Liddell from MyPillow, claims that on August 13th, Friday, August 13th, next month, that Trump, the former guy, will be reinstated as president. That is the date. Talked more about that and how of a ludicrous claim that was. Also talked about other craziness that the former guy has been doing and has been saying as of late. Let's see. I also went into some sad, unfortunate news of the president of Haiti being assassinated this past week. Very unfortunate what happened over there, and there is an investigation being conducted to find more information and possible more suspects in the event. I also talked about shootings in general and asked all you pro-gun supporters out there if you still feel that, we should keep guns in people's hands and do nothing lawfully to protect people here in America, to do nothing about gun violence or nothing about possessing a firearm in general. I left the question up to you and told you to hit us up on our Facebook or Twitter and to, pretty much call you out on it. Let me know. Speaking of our Facebook and Twitter, if you have any questions or comments that pertain to anything that is said on this episode or about anything that was discussed on previous episodes, feel free to hit us up on both our Facebook and Twitter accounts, which Facebook is facebook.com/Courtesy Call Podcast. And our Twitter is @CourtesyCall4U. That's the @ symbol, Courtesy Call, the number 4, and uppercase letter U. Any questions, any comments, you have anything that you would like to say, feel free to post on there, and I'll address it on next week's episode, which will be episode 26. So, all right. So for those who listen to previous episodes, know what's coming next, what part I do next. This is the part in the episode where I will promote local businesses from around the area here in the Granite State and outside the Granite State around the Northeast, who I feel have been impacted by the pandemic and could use your help. So, without further ado, here we go. Moe's Italian Subs, making the original since 1959 with locations all over the Granite State, including one in Dover, one in Portsmouth, and one here in Concord, New Hampshire. D Designs. For those looking to get artwork done for either their website or business logo, feel free to reach out to Danielle Festa-Keefe at dgraphicsnh.com. That's dgraphicsnh.com. Danielle Festa-Keefe also has a virtual reality art gallery. She's not just a wonderful graphic art designer, she's also a very talented painter. And for those who would like to appreciate her artwork and love artwork in general, paintings, whatever, what have you, feel free to check out her virtual reality art gallery. You can go on Danielle Festa-Keefe's Facebook page and I believe D-Graphics website. And there may be a link there for you to click on where you can register, sign up, and walk into this actual virtual reality art. It's a virtual reality art gallery. It's a room. You can go from room to room. You can look at all the actual pieces of artwork that she has done and appreciate them. The thing is that Danielle understands that because of the pandemic, not many people have been able to go out in public or feel safe going out in public, but still would like to check out, good pieces of art and, miss art galleries. So she made it easier for those people to view her art and enjoy a art gallery from the comfort of their own home. So check it out, Danielle Festa-Keefe's virtual reality art gallery. And again, you can reach out to her at dgraphicsnh.com. Crawl Space Audio. If you're looking to do any audio projects such as podcasts, or you're a musician looking to record your work, feel free to contact Dave Swillam at 603-275-2020. That's 603-275-2020. The Cake Fairy Bakery. Located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. They serve wonderful baked goods such as pies, cakes, dessert logs, cupcakes, and cannolis. But what they're best known for, in my opinion, is their eclairs. If you love eclairs and you really enjoy that type of dessert, you're going to love this place. And if you think eclairs are okay and not bad, you're going to love them. You're going to love them even more. You're going to appreciate them a lot more. They do a wonderful job. They're a nice, good size. The custard is nice and rich, but not too sweet. The same with the nice decadent cream that's on top, and nice, soft egg yeast shell that they put the custard in. So it's a wonderful pastry, and they do such a wonderful job. It's owned by a woman and her daughter who came over from Italy, or actually her mother came over from Italy. She was on the boat and brought a Rolodex of recipes with her, and decided to make baked goods from scratch and start her own business and her own bakery, and that would be the Cake Fairy Bakery. Her daughter joined along after many years and helps out around the kitchen, so they pretty much run the show. And wonderful goods, wonderful stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Again, that's the Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. Speaking of bakeries, Clem's Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. They also serve wonderful baked goods such as cakes, pies, cannolis, cupcakes, and eclairs and such, and other baked novelties. But in my opinion, what they're best known for is their donuts. You love good old-fashioned donuts. You love, specialty donuts and very creative mixture of donuts. You're going to love this place. This place has, all the varieties. They have, old-fashioned, honey glazed, chocolate glazed, blueberry glazed, strawberry frosted, vanilla frosted, jelly, and even Boston cream. But in my opinion, their best set of donuts is both their vanilla and chocolate cream, which are baked very fresh. All their donuts are very fresh. But their chocolate and vanilla cream baked very, very soft and fresh. Cut in the middle, slit in the middle, and they put the cream inside, and it's nice and rich and decadent, but not too sugary. It's perfect what you would like from a cream-filled donut. So I try to, not go too overboard with this, with these things. Part of me wants to have like 10 or 15 of them, or even 5, but I stick to only one, and that takes a lot of strength to just keep it at one. So they're really good. They're really delicious. So once again, that is Clem's Bakery. That is KLEMMS Bakery, located 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. So check them out, show your support, and help out local businesses around you. So, all right. So let's get into what our wonderful president, Mr. President Biden, has been up to as of late. So let's go with the first. Actually, he's done a few things. He's done a few things this past week that are worth discussing. The first one is he has set a date for to pull the U.S. from Afghanistan, to exit Afghanistan finally after years and years. It's about 20 years, nearly almost 20 years. Finally, there's a date to be set. Actually, I say 10 years because I think there was initial date set like 10 years, but that never really happened. Not much happened with that. But it's been set finally, and the date is August 31st. That's right. Wonderful President Biden sets August 31st for the U.S. to exit Afghanistan. According to the Associated Press, the wonderful President Joe Biden said last Thursday that the military operation in Afghanistan will end on August 31st, delivering an impassioned argument for exiting the nearly 20 years, that was about correct, the near 20-year war without sacrificing more American lives, even as he bluntly acknowledged that there will be no mission accomplished moment to celebrate. Biden pushed back against the notion the U.S. mission has failed, but also noted that it remains unlikely the government would control all of Afghanistan after the U.S. leaves. He urged the Afghan government and Taliban, which he said remains as formidable as it did before the start of the war, to come to a peaceful agreement. Like, that's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. You never know. You don't know. You don't know. I mean, it could happen, could not happen. I mean, I have some doubts, but we'll see. The quote is, "We did not go to Afghanistan to build, to nation build." Biden said. President Biden said, "We did not go to Afghanistan to nation build." As he said in a speech from the White House's East Room, Afghan leaders have come together and drive towards a future. I have to come together and drive towards a future. So, what I say about that, it would be nice. I agree. We did not go over there to build a nation and to expand the U.S. Per se. I went over there to kind of help, or we didn't even go there to, rebuild Afghanistan per se. We kind of did. I mean, I think we just went over there primarily to respond to the horrid attacks of 9/11, to the 9/11 incident. So we were over there to respond, but we felt after a while, maybe we should stay there, clean up the area, help them, do things better and become a better country, and set security standards and protect innocent civilians over in Afghanistan. But other than that, yeah, we did not go there to reinvent anything, to completely reconstruct the country, the country entirely. Went there to just do a little bit of good, and mainly to retaliate to the 9/11 attacks and such, but also to help make things a little bit easier for them. But we did not go there to nation build. I agree with our president. We did not go over there to build a whole new nation. They have to do it themselves. And that's just the thing. We can bring a lot of foreigners over, or people of foreign country, over to this country to live with us as much as we want. We're just going to eat up our own resources and take up our own resources. What I've been saying for a while is that we need to help other countries. I'm saying for years and years now that we have to go over there and help other countries regulate, help other countries do better, help teach their government a little bit how to do things in a healthier way. But ultimately, it's the country's government that needs to do better, that needs to come together and figure out better ways to do things. We could offer advice and a little bit of education. That's it. So, anyway, good move on our wonderful president to pull the troops from Afghanistan. So that's one of the things he's been doing. He also signed an executive order aimed at promoting competition across the economy, which is competition is very healthy. It's how you get some good deals out there, right? People are always looking for the deals, and now you can find deals better than ever thanks to technology and resources. We're always looking to get good deals out there. Well, you can thank economic competition for that. That's the point of economic competition, for businesses to pretty much compete against other businesses by either dropping their prices, adding better product, adding new features, adding deals, all a bunch of different ways for businesses to compete. It says, according to Yahoo Finance, President Joe Biden signed an executive order last Friday aimed at promoting competition across the U.S. economy, including measures that target big tech companies, aim to lower prices for consumers, and call for greater scrutiny of mergers across industries. He says the heart of an American capitalism is a simple idea: open and fair competition, President Biden said before signing the order. Capitalism without competition isn't capitalism. It's exploitation. Without a healthy competition, big players can change and charge whatever they want and treat you however they want. And for too many Americans, that means accepting a bad deal for things you can't go without. Exactly. You want to see these businesses, when I talk about these businesses screwing their customers, not literally, but business-wise, this is what I'm talking about. This is how they're able to do it. You know, they're able to corrupt their business. They're able to gyp people out of their business agreements, to give bad products to customers, to just take money out of people's pockets completely without giving them much of a deal or giving them much of a product, to short side customers and to mistreat customers. This is all part of how the economy does bad. When I talk about businesses screwing over their customers, this is how they're able to do it, without having, some sort of, to just have capitalism. To just have capitalism without competition, it is exploitation. That's how they're able to do it and get away with it. Well, President Biden says no more having businesses screw over their customers and screw over other associates and colleagues and people that they do business with. And enough's enough. This is the executive order to end capitalism without competition and promote competition across the U.S. by signing the executive order to promote competition across the country. So, good move by our wonderful President Biden. And I think mostly when you look at this, when you look at the executive order, this is mostly aimed at not just any old businesses out there. I mean, a lot of businesses screw over their customers and people they do business with, but it's mainly big tech companies that we look at. Big tech companies that look to do some injustice, that do a lot of injustice to the ways they do business. So yes. So awesome. And last but not least, I'll mention one of the wonderful things that our wonderful President Biden has done. He nominated LA Mayor Garcetti as ambassador to India. As you remember, last week, I announced that he had promoted someone by last name. I forgot her name. Pardon me. But he appointed some woman. He promoted a woman, the president of University of Pennsylvania, to the ambassador for Germany. Right, the U.S. ambassador for Germany. Now he has appointed Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti as the LA ambassador for India. Excuse me, the U.S. ambassador for India. According to CNN, another major news network that I follow, that I trust to get my news from, and use as a trusted source, has said the following: that President Joe Biden is set to announce he's selecting Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, excuse me, I can't speak today for some reason, as his ambassador to India, pending Senate confirmation, according to a White House official. Garcetti's selection, which has been long anticipated, is one of 4 picks in the latest round of ambassadors coming from the president, our wonderful president. Garcetti on Friday said in a statement that he is honored to accept the president's nomination, and has said, I have committed my life to service as an activist, as a teacher, as a naval officer, as a public servant, and if confirmed, next as an ambassador. Part of that commitment means that when your nation calls, you answer that call. And should I be confirmed, I'll bring this same energy, commitment, and love for this city to my new role, and will forge partnerships and connections that will help Los Angeles, said Garcetti. So I hope so. I think he's picking some really good people. I think our president's doing a wonderful job. Those who have, really incredible backgrounds, and hopefully help with our foreign affairs between us and other countries, and the voices that speak for our country, not only just our president, but his ambassadors and men and women can represent us in a very healthy manner, in a better way, rather than a much unhealthy way like the former guy did when he was in office. So all around, good job, Mr. President. You did a wonderful job. I couldn't be any more happier, any prouder. I think that, we're heading in the right direction, and we're going to continue to head the right direction with his leadership. And if it continues going just as well as it has been so far, I mean, we haven't done he hasn't been president. It hasn't been a full year yet. Hasn't been a full year yet for the Biden administration. So he's already doing really a lot of good things. So I can't wait. I can imagine like next year we're going to be doing so good. So many good things be going on. So many good things. There are already so many good things. So can't wait. Good stuff. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about other kinds of progress. Of course, I'm talking about the updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations. This is where I give you the latest numbers of cases. And I also talk about, what we could do better and more developments on the cases that have to do with COVID-19 and vaccinations. So, without further ado, these numbers were pulled up from yesterday, Saturday, July 10th, 2021, and are as follows. The total number here in the United States, total number of cases are 33,804,801 total cases here in the U.S. With sadly and very unfortunate, 606,198 total deaths here in the U.S. Very sad, very unfortunate. Worldwide, you're looking at 185,078,882 total cases worldwide, with sadly, very unfortunate, 4,001,791 total deaths. Very sad, very, very unfortunate. Here in the Granite State, you're looking at a total of 99,708 total cases, with sadly and very unfortunate 1,375 total deaths. Very sad, very, 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 very unfortunate. So, numbers have gone up, and yes, I've been stating lately that if you are fully vaccinated, and for those who've been fully vaccinated, you have nothing to worry about. The cases are going to rise as the CDC and the government has permitted you and has stated it is okay to participate in social events, social gatherings, and other functions and such. If you've been fully vaccinated, you can participate in any events and such, and parties and whatever, what have you. However, if you're not fully vaccinated, you should maintain social distancing still. You should wear a mask and not participate in social gatherings and social events and activities. You should not be doing that. You should be trying to stay away from large crowds, take good care of yourself, wash your hands, take health and safety precautions, and probably should consider getting fully vaccinated. And it's a simple thing to do. It's 2 shots. And, you might have a little bit of side effects here and there, but they won't last more than a week. And you should be good. It should be good. A few days to a week, that is. But you should be good, and you'll be fine. This is to help yourself and make it so you are able to handle or deal or be able to not experience the full effects, if you contract the virus, if you get the virus. So, the purpose of the vaccines is to prevent you from getting severely sick and experience low to mild symptoms at the very most. Opposed to if you are not fully vaccinated and you contract the virus, you get the virus, you could suffer major symptoms from it, as could be have very trouble breathing and get very, very sick and have to be hospitalized, put in the hospital. So you want to refrain from that. You want to try to prevent that at the best of your ability as much as possible, and get fully vaccinated. Get yourself fully vaccinated. There are a few stations. I mean, some stations have closed down since the end of last month, and it's only been closed down for about a couple weeks now, roughly a couple weeks. But there's still places out there that are still administering it. Your doctor's office, the hospitals, even grocery stores are able to administer the shot in some areas. So look out, do some research, and find out where you can get to your latest vaccination station to get fully vaccinated and help keep this country safe and make this country a better and safe place to be around. So, speaking of vaccinations, now it is time for me to give you the latest numbers of people who have received at least one dose versus people who have been fully vaccinated. That's right. This is the time where I give you the latest numbers of people who've been fully vaccinated versus those who have only received one dose. So, and again, these numbers are pulled from yesterday, which was Saturday, July 10th, 2021. And the numbers are as follows. So, here in the United States, there have been a total of 332,345,797 total doses administered, with 158,287,566 people who have been fully vaccinated, which brings it to 48% of the U.S. population have been fully vaccinated. Again, 332,345,797 total doses given, with a total of 158,287,566 total people who have been fully vaccinated, which brings it to 48% of the United States population who have been fully vaccinated. Worldwide, it is 3 billion, there we go, 3 in the bills, 3,363,937,646 total doses administered, with a total of 926,065,044 people who have been fully vaccinated around the world. What brings it to 11.9% of the world's population. 11.9% of the world's population have been fully vaccinated. So, which is the had a number I just read off. Here in the state of New Hampshire, here in the Granite State, you're looking at the state of New Hampshire, you're looking at 1,655,251 total doses have been administered, with a total of 776,565 people who have been fully vaccinated, which brings it to over the half mark, over the 0.5%. It's 57.1% of the Granite State's population here in Granite State. So 57.1%. It's a whole jump, a big jump from the past few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And it is great because we're leaning more towards a number where we can actually count on the data 110%. So, when we get to it, around the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s percent. So we're getting up there. That's good. That's awesome. Keep it coming. Keep it going. Keep getting, people who have not been fully vaccinated, like I said, encourage yourself to get fully vaccinated so that way we can, reach that good percentage where we can help the country stay safe and healthy and safe. So safe and healthy. So please find a center near you who is administering the vaccine and sign up and get yourself ready. Get yourself set up to be fully vaccinated, because right now we have pretty much the entire population of the United States receive at least one dose of the vaccine. And so if those people who have received at least one dose go back for their second dose and get their second dose, then that will pretty much make the numbers skyrocket from the percent, which I believe is a 48% of the population being fully vaccinated, to maybe even 80 or 90. I mean, if you're looking at, like, let's see, I believe there's 340 million, roughly 340 million people in the United States, here in the U.S., United States. So if those people, and we got 332, those people who received at least one dose, get their second dose, we will jump up. That percentage will go from like 48% to probably 80. That'll reach herd immunity percent, and we will get up there. We just need you to get that second dose. Get the second dose. There's been a jump of over 600,000 doses in the past few days, which has been amazing. Completely amazing. So let's keep it going. Okay? And get things going, get things back on track and some. And things have plummeted. The numbers have plummeted. The number of cases, everything has been plateauing and falling and dropping, which is a very good sign, a very good thing. And it continues to do so. More people will get vaccinated and take health and safety precautions. So, all right. Well, I said I was going to talk about the Olympics. So let's talk about the Olympics real quick. As you know, the Olympics are underway. They're right around the corner. The Olympics will be starting on the 23rd, Friday, July 23rd to 23rd, and will go on all the way to the 8th of August. So, yes, that's right. The Olympics will start on the 23rd, and we'll go on to the 8th, and they will, which is, I believe, is a week from Friday. And, excuse me, no, it won't. It'll be 2 weeks from Friday. 2 weeks from Friday. And, no, I'm right. Actually, I was right. It's a week from Friday. Correct. It's a week from Friday. 23rd. Anyway, so we have a number of competitions. As you know, it's the Summer Olympics. So let's see. We have track and field, like the 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter, 800 meter, 1500 meter, and then we even got like 5,000, 10,000 meter, relays and runs and sprints and such and whatnot. So we'll have those events, and we also have swimming. We have the swimming relays, the swimming sprints. We have I forget what the distance is for the swimming, but we have breaststroke. We have backstroke, we have forward, we have freestyle, we have the whole 9 yards. A lot of exciting competitions with that. We have wonderful athletes that have qualified for that, like Katie Ledecky and I forgot her name. She's a female that just qualified with one of our good friends for them. But anyway, yeah, we had they qualified as well and signed their name on the board to compete in Tokyo. We have shot put, which I'm really looking forward to shot put because I think that shot put is going to be one of our events that we probably clinch gold. Thanks to Ryan Krauser, who pretty much broke an Olympic record and broke a record, a whole course record up in Oregon. And he did a 76 through the ball, 76 feet. I don't know if many of you know how much a shot put ball weighs, how much it weighs. It weighs, I I think it's a good 10 pounds. I think I looked up, it was like 10, maybe 15 pounds. Even at 5 pounds, 76 feet, damn, that's quite some strength. That's quite a push. That's quite a push. So looking forward to seeing Mr. Krauser in action this for this Olympics coming up. Should be great. The athletes I'm looking forward to seeing. There was a 16-year-old, or I think it was a 17-year-old diver that competed for the Olympics. So I don't have his name right up here in front of me or whatnot. But it was a 17-year-old who qualified for the Olympics this year, which is very exciting. Like one of the youngest athletes to qualify. And then let's see. I think the highlight, though, I think the number one athlete, I'm looking forward to seeing how she's doing, how she does for it. And I think she's going to do amazing in Tokyo, is UNH alum and Vermont native Ellie Purrier St. Pierre, who dominated the Olympic trials, won the Olympic trials. She finished in first place with a record time of 3:58 for a 1,500 meter. She is a 1,500 meter competitor, and that will be her event heading into Tokyo. And while she's in Tokyo, and at 3:58, that's a course record she set, and she looks so relaxed while doing it. I don't know if any of you have been watching any Olympic trials so far, but they've the 1,500 meter. Just go up on YouTube her. Look up on YouTube, Ellie Purrier St. Pierre. And that's ELLE, I believe. Purrier, Purrier, and then St. Pierre. Watch some of her Olympic trial runs. Watch some of her competitions throughout the U.S. and even collegiate competitions. She is a beast, and not in size. I'm talking about by her performance. She is a force to be reckoned with. She is lethal on there. Lethal on the track. And So I'm looking forward to seeing her dominate in Tokyo. Ellie Purrier St. Pierre, 1,500 meter. Can't wait. So the Olympics are going to look pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing them. By the way, Shakir Robinson, you know what I'm talking about. The athlete who got ejected from the team because she tested positive for marijuana. I think Shakiri Robinson, she has been eliminated from the Olympic team altogether. She will not be going to Tokyo. She won't be competing not only for the 100 meter, but she also will not be competing for the relay team either. So she's completely out of the Olympics. She will not be participating in the Olympics this time around in the Summer Olympics. Goes to show how serious we take it and how you cannot justify rules. Some of them are justified, and a lot of people don't understand what THC does to the body. People don't understand what THC and alcohol do. I'm pretty sure if she was under the influence of alcohol, she'd be disqualified as well. The Olympics is not your frat party. It's not your frat party competitions or your high school we don't care competitions or a college scrimmage competition. This is a event where the world competes and people represent our country. Actually have to represent our country in a good way. We complain how our country looks bad, but then we defend people who make it look bad. We always argue about our country looking like crap, but the people who represent our country poorly, we defend them. And we don't try to hold them accountable for their actions. Well, this is them being held accountable for their actions. She should not be competing in competition. She would not be allowed to compete if you are under the influence of any kind. That is just, it's not up for debate. It's not up for negotiation. You don't like the way that we do things, the fucking door is out there. Get out. So there's the Olympics. That's my take on the Olympics. So watch them July 23rd through August 8th. So I believe on NBC. All right, well, we're going to take our last quick commercial break. When we come back, I am going to go into the headhunt segment and the 2 societal topics of my choice. Still more to come here on Courtesy Call Podcast.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Oh my, with Chase Freedom Unlimited, I earn all this cash back? Oh, I gotta tell everyone. Hey Rita, you can earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
Bon appetit.
Hey Kim, you earn 5% on travel purchase through Chase.
Way ahead of you.
Hey Neil, you can earn 3% at drugstores.
Buddy, I'm right here. Why are you yelling?
Because that's what I do. You're always earning with 5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase. 3% at drugstores, 3% on dining, including takeout, and 1.5% on everything else you buy. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Coming in to get a deal that includes existing customers. He'd probably buy vape, but we'll give him an even 6 foot. It's this guy!
Wait. Did I just hear existing customers can get a deal?
Yep, at AT&T, new and existing customers get our best deal on all smartphones.
That's pretty great. You think it looks 6 foot?
I sure do. Kind of.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives new and existing customers the same great deals on all smartphones. Get up to $800 off our latest 5G smartphones.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Building a better bank starts with looking at something old and saying, really? So Capital One is building something completely new. Capital One Cafes. Inviting places with people here to help you, not sell you. And savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, because that's how it should be. You can open one from right here or anywhere in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes. This is Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
The greatest stories don't have to end.
If we do this, we're going to do it our own way.
They can expand, evolve, connect each generation to the next. The stories continue. Only on Disney+.
Welcome back to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. For those who are just joining us before the break, I went into some of the things our wonderful president has been up to. President Biden doing some amazing things this past week. He ended up firing the head of Social Security Agency, and who was appointed by the former guy. Let's just say that. He also went into announcing official dates to pull out troops from Afghanistan. And, which is good. We've been long waited for over about 20 years. We've had troops in Afghanistan. So we're looking to finally pull them out, as he stated that we're not looking to build a whole country there. We're just looking to retaliate and then, looking to add some good and do a little bit of good over there, but ultimately it's up to the Afghan government and the Taliban to bring peace to that country. So he also signed an executive order to promote competition in the economy across the United States to end those businesses taking full advantage, those mainly big tech companies taking advantage of customers and those who other sources that do business with. So. And last but certainly not least, he appointed LA Mayor Eric Garcetti as an ambassador, U.S. ambassador for the country India. So, and hopefully the Senate will vote him in soon, along with the other 4 ambassadors, 3 ambassadors appointed by our wonderful president. After that, I went into the numbers of for the latest numbers for COVID-19 and the vaccinations, and promoted and urge people out there who have not been fully vaccinated to please get fully vaccinated and help keep our country safe and healthy. So, and then last but not least, I talked about the Olympics and Olympic Games coming up on the 23rd, and some of the competitions I'm looking forward to seeing happen throughout the Olympics, and some of the athletes I'm looking forward to seeing perform, including UNH, University of New Hampshire alumni Ellie Pierre St. Pierre, who also is a Vermont native. She is looking to dominate the 1500 meter event, as she has already, as she pretty much won the trials, completed the trials at record-breaking time of 3 minutes and 58 seconds for 1500 meter, which is extremely fast. And she looks so relaxed doing it, which gives us Americans, all us people here, so much confidence that she's going to do well in Tokyo during the Olympic Games. So if you have any questions or comments about anything that was discussed on this episode or on previous episodes, feel free to do so on both our Facebook and Twitter pages, which are Facebook being facebook.com/Courtesy Call Podcast, and our Twitter being @CourtesyCall4U. That's the @ Courtesy Call, the number 4, and uppercase letter U. And just let me know what your questions or comments are, and I will announce them on next week's episode, which will be episode 26, which will be available for download next Sunday, July 18th, 2021 at 10 a.m. on IPMNation.com. So, all right. So I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend, by the way, or what's left of it. I hope you guys enjoyed your Independence Day last weekend, despite the weather, the rainy weather, the gross, nasty weather. I know I did. I mean, I know my folks and I had some of our plans a little ruined. We had to cancel our big party that we had with a bunch of friends and family up in Henniker, or my lady's folks' place up in Henniker. So we had to cancel that, unfortunately, but and we had to cancel that. But we did end up having a small cookout with my lady and her mother up in Henniker, who also is in Henniker. And enjoyed that, as well as playing a little bit of cornhole during the little amount of time that the sun did come out. It was only for like a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours that it actually came out, and was good enough to be outdoors and play some games. But then went to Manchester later that day to check out, like I said last week's episode, check out the Fisher Cats game as they were taking on the Portland Sea Dogs, for those who are baseball fans of AA Pro Baseball, minor league. So we're going to check out that game before it was postponed due to a washout in the 4th inning. We stood there for like over an hour to wait the call, and they had fireworks at the end. They had fireworks, a small little mediocre firework display, but I'll take that over nothing. But then again, you know, but nice to know sooner rather than later. But it was constant rain for like the whole hour, washing out the ball game. So made the call to postpone it. So we will be attending another game. We will be going to another Fisher Cats game to make up for it in a couple of weeks. So yeah. So that was my 4th. Hope yours was a little more fortunate. I know it was probably wet, but hopefully it was a little more fortunate. And you guys had a lot of fun. So yeah. I also hope you guys are enjoying what's left of your weekends and are ready for the upcoming week. Ready to start the work week. Ready to hit the grind, as they say, and go through another week of complete work and craziness before another weekend arrives. I know after this, so I would definitely be enjoying my week this coming week. Actually, after this episode, my folks and I will be heading up to the northeast part of Maine, to northeast Maine, to do another week of camping around the Harrington and Ellsworth area, which is, if you look at the map of Maine, is not too far from the town or the province of Machias. So if you know where Machias is, that's like up there. It's like you could see Nova Scotia across the way. It's pretty up there. In such a part of Maine. I'd say it's well over 5-6 hours. So we'll be up around there. We'll be making stops in Bangor on our way up and checking out some of the sites there, and checking out Mason's Brewery, grabbing a burger and some beer, as well as maybe visiting the Paul Bunyan statue, the infamous Paul Bunyan statue of Bangor. And then we'll be stopping at Bar Harbor on our way back, which will be on Wednesday or Thursday. So we'll be heading to Bar Harbor to check out some touristy hot spots in the area. One of the infamous touristy hot spots of Bar Harbor, Maine. So looking forward to that. So it's going to be a good week for me. Well deserved. I like to do a lot of camping during the summer and part of fall. So this is going to be one of them. Might do another camping trip, hopefully maybe next month or September. So we will, we'll see. So, okay. So now it is time for the Headhunt segment. And for those who are not familiar with the Headhunt segment, this is maybe your first episode you're listening to ever of Courtesy Call. The Headhunt segment, this is where in the episode where I go on social media outlets and other resources such as Facebook and Twitter, and we'll look up, on other sources like major news networks like CNN, MSNBC, or WMUR News 9 TV. And I'll search for articles that people have commented or questioned underneath that I feel could use a little brushing up on, could use more knowledge on, or if a question hasn't been answered, I'll try to add my 2 cents worth and answer it as sufficiently and efficiently and accurately as possible. So yeah. So without further ado, I'll usually do 3 of these. I'm going to go into the first one. So this one is off from CNN's Facebook page. CNN is one of the many major news networks that I trust, like I said it earlier. And this pertains to the COVID-19 vaccinations. And it states that unvaccinated people do more than merely risk their own health. They're also a risk to everyone if they become infected with COVID-19. Infectious disease specialists say because the only source of new coronavirus variants is the body of an infected person. I think I meant to say is in the body of an infected person, which makes a little more sense. So here's the thing. I'm kind of confused by that statement by CNN. I may criticize them. See, I may support them, but I mean to shock you, I will criticize them. I'll criticize anybody if I feel like there could be something wrong. I'll add my constructive criticism if I feel like there's something wrong with it. So it says here, it says the part where they become a risk to everyone if they become infected. The vaccines do not cure COVID-19. To make that clear for the 110th millionth time. They do not, or 15th millionth time. They do not cure COVID. They do not cure the virus. So even if you are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you still can contract the virus. So I don't think that aspect has anything to do with, that makes no sense. I think that the part that makes sense is that there are risks to their own health. That's the only effect that someone has to face if they're not fully vaccinated. That's the only thing that they have to do or to understand, or the only thing that they're doing is they're putting their own health at risk. They're not. They're gonna transmit to other people. It's gonna be transmitted to other people because it doesn't cure. The vaccines do not cure the virus. So everybody's going to get it. It's about when you get it, are you going to be protected? That's the truth. You didn't call me a liar or try to find all the facts that prove me wrong or don't think I'm accurate or find weirdness, because that's your nature these days. Because you're one of these people who likes to think that, without looking up facts and looking up trusted facts and looking up the true facts, that you will believe anything that you hear from an article, and you make up your own sense, even though you have no credibility towards it. You'll participate in the Dunning-Kruger effect, pretty much. So, but people these days love to argue, like, no, it's actually this and this, and share something stupid and bogus. The vaccines do not cure COVID. Do your research. So everybody's going to think about it. Everybody's going to get COVID eventually. So and either way, you're at risk for other people. It's just those people need to be vaccinated. You need to be vaccinated. If everybody's vaccinated, you're not going to suffer not going to suffer the full effect of the symptoms. You're not going to suffer severe symptoms. You're only going to, you'll experience, maybe mild to low symptoms. At the very most, mild symptoms. So, yeah, that's the only thing, is that everybody needs to be fully vaccinated for them to, so they don't experience severe symptoms. So they only get moderate to low symptoms at the very, very most if they're fully vaccinated. So get yourself fully vaccinated, people. It's the best choice to keep yourself safe and healthy. And like I said, to not experience, if you're fully vaccinated, you will not experience severe symptoms. At the very most, you experience low to mild symptoms at the very most. So do it up, please. So the next topic of the Headhunt article is actually interesting. It's on MSNBC's Facebook page, which is another major news network that I follow and trust the source to get my source of news and information and such. And yesterday morning, they posted breaking news. Yesterday, just in, a statue honoring Confederate General Robert E. Lee was removed Saturday morning in Charlottesville, Virginia, nearly 4 years after white supremacists and neo-Nazi groups stormed the town to protect it. And I understand where people are coming from this, and I know what they're saying. When they talk about like racism and getting rid of figures that promoted racism and slavery. And I understand where people are coming from. Also, another end of the stick that just don't want someone who represents, or someone that represents history. They want someone who represents history, as Robert E. Lee did a lot for America, did a lot for our country. Don't want him to be removed or forgotten about, and still need to honor him. And I would say that, it's kind of both. I would say both ends of the stick here. It is either way, I can understand it. Because in removing statues of those who, promoted racism and promoted slavery, we don't want to, honor those people in that aspect. We don't want to praise them for being slavers and promoting slavery and being racist. We don't want that. We don't want figures who promoted that to be remembered in this country or to be praised. However, there are figures, and this is a double-edged sword here. There are very historical figures, people who did a lot for our country. Those who were racist and engaged in slavery, who did a lot for our country. Not because they were racist or engaged in slavery, but because they fought in the wars and some of the other stuff they did in politics to help build this country to a free country the way it is today. And to a good country of freedom, to make us one of the best countries that we're supposed to be today. So you got to praise them for that. So I guess I'm controversial. I guess I'll say I am kind of bothered a little bit by them. Well, not bothered, but I think that like them taking it down is a little ludicrous. Because we still need to praise those who did good for our country. Yes, again, they promoted racism and slavery. Most of them did back then. But they still built this country in other ways and did a lot for this country that we can't just sit there and, tear them down from history. We can't. So I think that's something that is being neglected, and how a lot of us Americans are being inconsiderate. So a woman by the name of Nikki said good riddance, meaning goodbye, statue of Robert E. Lee. She's in full support of it. And I guess she's the one that doesn't understand that, you know, we still need to support those. Even though they did bad, they still did a lot of good that we need to recognize. So, I forgot to mention during the article of, I was just talking about the COVID-19 and the vaccinations, and the people who are unvaccinated people are potential variant factories, infectious diseases, experts say. There was a comment underneath by a woman by the name of Caroline who said she got vaccinated as soon as she could when she was qualified and started looking for appointments for herself and her husband, and glad that she did. Well, I'm glad you got the vaccine as well. Glad there's a person out there who got who got fully vaccinated and is looking to do good for this country, is also looking to do good things here, you know, for health and safety of us people here in the United States and throughout the world. So good job, Caroline. Good job. I hope everybody follows in Caroline's footsteps and gets themselves fully vaccinated. So do it. So, all right. So the last one, but not least, is an article that's found on WMUR News 9's Facebook page. And for those who do not know who WMUR News 9 is, for those who live here in the Granite State, it's our major news network, or it's our main news network for local news and some major news out there throughout the nation, but mainly throughout the Northeast and the Granite State. Channel 9 News 9, WMUR. So this is their Facebook page. And on the Facebook page yesterday, on their Facebook page, they posted an article yesterday morning talking about, this is in reference to the collapse of the condo residence in Miami-Dade, Florida area. That occurred about a couple weeks ago, or it was about 2 weeks ago, right? And it says, many family members of condo collapse victims have found community and comfort in each other. As the headline reads, families of condo victims bond together as they await news. And sadly, there's been news, there's been news of 27 people who have passed away from this horrific, extremely unfortunate, neglectful, and ridiculous event. Very extremely rare and ridiculous event of this happening. And very sad, very sad. I send our deepest and condolences and support to the friends and family of the victims. Sadly, extremely unfortunate, extremely very rare and such. But there's a gentleman by the name of Steve who commented underneath, how sad it is to experience a tragedy that has to unite the U.S. And I'm looking at that comment underneath, and I'm thinking, how sad is it to experience a tragedy that has to? He sounds like he's being, kind of like supportive of people, those who are affected, and kind of sending condolences. But then it kind of, you look at the rest of that comment, and you're like, that has to unite the U.S. So, Steve, are you insinuating that, this was a fixed job, that this was a doing of the government, some, conspiracy Illuminati crap, that is promoting that they did this to bring the U.S. together, to promote, bringing the country together, to add panic and fear and more depression and sadness? Because this country and the world has seen a lot of depression and sadness to events that we can't control, but to events that I think we can control. Now, I will say this to you, Steve. I don't believe that. First of all, conspiracy Illuminati theories are through the roof. They're ridiculous. They're over the edge. They're becoming insanely overbearing, like unnecessary overbearing. There's a ridiculous amount of conspiracy Illuminati theories being thrown out there. And I think it's getting ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. It needs to stop. It's doing nothing for this country but adding poison to the country. It's doing nothing. So quit that. Enough of that. But I will say this. I will say There's been a lot of tragedy happening because the United States could do a better job of preventing them. Because of stupidity, because of neglect, because the United States is full of a lot of stupid today. And we're causing our own problems. And we go, oh, it's tragic. Oh, it's tragic. It is tragic that this had to happen. I stated that like a few moments ago. And how sadly unfortunate and extremely rare it is. But if you read the story and read what happened, I mean, if you gotta understand that whoever owned that building and ran that condo neglected their responsibilities. They had a lot of reports being made by residents of creaking walls, creaking doors, the building, swaying a little too much, the floor dropping and feeling a little caved in, and having all these like major indicators that the building is unsafe and need to be, there need to be some work done to it and maintenance and some things, paying attention to. But because whoever owned that building neglected it for whatever reason, because they were lazy, they didn't pay attention, or they just didn't feel like spending the money, because it's all about the money, and you'd rather, put people at safety risk to pocket more cash, because that's how much of ridiculous imbeciles you are. These people had to suffer this kind of tragedy. They had to suffer this BS. They had to suffer, an unfortunate event. That did not have to happen because, like I said, you morons did not want to, take due diligence and take responsibility. And there's so much neglect because we just don't use our damn heads. And we're so easy to write things off and not pay attention to the things that are worth being paid attention to. Well, this is your consequence. This is your consequence for neglect. Freaking take it and suck it down your gullet. There, America. All right. So, anyway, that wraps up our headhunt segment. And as you can tell, I am warmed up, geared up, and fired up and ready for 2 societal topics of my choice. Oh, society. This is the point in the episode, in the show, where I talk about 2 topics every week. This is the point where I talk about 2 topics that I feel society has, could use a lot more work on, could use help at this point in time. I mean, it could be all different subjects, from poverty, homelessness, mental health, and parenting and all that. But I like to get to those topics when I have a special guest, get more in depth with those when I have a special guest that can shed more light onto it. But other than that, I'll talk about other topics and subjects that I think society is slacking that needs to be addressed at that point in time. So before I get into any new topics, or any of the topics of the societal topics of my choice, I like to give a little review of the topics that have been discussed in previous episodes. So my most infamous one has been, of course, piss poor driving, driving violations and poor driver's etiquette. As you know, traffic violations and driver's etiquette has been a big thing for me, for quite some time, ever since the show started. It was actually the very first topic, I believe, of the show, if you go back to the debut episode. And there's still people driving like maniacs, driving like a-holes, accidents happening all over the place. And, I go on these commutes, during my commutes, I look around and I see these people driving, not, merging properly, not looking where they're going, zipping by 90 to 100 miles an hour, not being very patient. And I'm like, you're putting yourself and everybody else at risk. It's got to be the biggest, douchiest thing ever. It's got to be the biggest, douchiest thing you could do. And there's no need for it. And I see all these accidents and all these accident reports and stuff like on the news and such. And I've seen some during my commutes. And I can't help but to sit there and just think, you know what? And I first of all, I feel really bad. And I hope everybody's okay. And everybody's all right. But then on the other part of me, I'm just thinking, this is the result of the idiocy on the road. Whether these people that collide with each other, maybe one of these person was at fault and the other person was innocent, or one of the person was innocent and they're both were just being dingbats or morons. It's still, this could all be prevented if we just use our damn heads. If we just follow safety precautions. It's plain and simple. A 5-year-old could understand safety precautions on the road and most likely follow it if they knew how to drive or had the mental capacity to drive at the point in time, if it was allowed. But yeah, they can understand it and get it. Definitely. Don't swerve over the road. Don't, mismerge in lanes. Learn how to properly merge. Learn how to signal before turning. Don't blow past people 90 to 100 miles an hour. Don't zip by people. Be mindful on the road, people. Don't be a-holes and morons and ignoramuses. Look to please be freaking mindful and understand that you are not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting other people at risk. So stop being an idiot. I hope you get pulled over. And I'm sorry, but a part of me says to some of these people getting these accidents, I say, good. Good. It serves you right when you violate the road and safety precautions, safety measures on the road to have, cause and effect consequence. There you go. Get into an accident, it does you right. You'll have to learn from those causes in that way. So, the other popular topic I like to review usually is piss poor parenting. There's still a lot of piss poor parenting out there. A lot of parents don't want to parent their kids. They don't feel the need to. They're lazy. It's too much work. They want to go out drinking every night or go out partying every night, have fun, have their folks watch their kids all the time. So that way they can go out and act like not a parent. They slack off on their responsibilities. They'll have their kids with them. When they do have their kids with them, not much correcting of behavior, not much education, not educating, why. A parent should be teaching their kids life skills. Life skills, I solely believe life skills is a job of a parent. That's a parent's job, to teach them life skills, right from wrong, what to do and what not. Schools should have life skills classes, but it mainly should be up to the parents to teach them the bulk of it. Now, I support, at this point in time, education facilities such as, high schools, grade schools, high schools, and colleges to even teach life skills because of the lack of parenting today. I think that life skills needs to be amped up in school. So at least, kids and students can be taught how to behave or how to go about things in life, or how to take responsibility on certain things and learn about life skills, the right way and sufficient way. Because a lot of people who are completely dumb today, or not that smart, or not that intelligent, is due to lack of education on these type of things and these type of topics and understanding certain things. So when you see all these morons going around, people, yes, they need to be held accountable for their actions, but please look at the parents. Look at the parents. It's their doing. Being honest. All right. So let's get into the two topics, right, for this week. I want to talk about putting. First, I want to talk about a little bit about misjudged media, or even just nonsense in the media. There's a lot of it. I read yesterday morning, going around doing my stuff, doing my things and such, that there's a such thing called blackfishing. And I was like, what is that? I mean, it's not going on a boat to a body of water and dropping your pole in the water and catching a fish that's of black color. So that way, because fish have to be equal too. Make sure you have equality with fish, with sea creatures. But it's not that. It wasn't that. So obviously, I brushed up and I looked into it, and I didn't assume that was it and such. But I looked into it, and apparently blackfishing is defined as a white celebrity or public figure or influencer or someone influence or whatnot, trying to pose as if they are of color, as they are black mannerisms and black behavior, dressing like the black community, black culture, and acting. And I'm thinking at this point, while reading halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, like, what in the world is going on? How ridiculous are we becoming? That we have to, we're starting to create a lot of this nonsense crap BS that's putting more, arousing more of the sensitivity here in this country. I understand, again, I'm highly against racism. I accept people for for who they are. I have friends of all different colors, and ethnicities and ethnic groups and cultures. I've discussed this many, many times in previous episodes. I've stated this. I'm not racist at all. Okay? I judge only content of character, not the color of someone's skin. or culture. But I have friends of all different colors, ethnicity groups, and culture. Okay, I'm not racist. I judge by content of character and not by the color of someone's skin, ethnicity, or culture. With that being said, again, I think we're being ridiculous with the racism. I think we're being ridiculous of this is racist. This is racist. We have bread that is racist, biscuit that is racist. We have pancake mix that is racist, syrup that is racist, cans of soda that is racist. Probably, store bought goods, store goods, goods out there that are considered racist. Now we're doing something called blackfishing, where a certain clothing is considered racist or belongs to the black community. These clothes belong to the black community. This behavior and actions belong to black people. And this way of being belongs to black people. And if you act like that or act anywhere near that, you're racist, and that's blackfishing. Tell me, let me throw this at you. If you believe if you believe in blackfishing, this term blackfishing. So is it not racist to believe that a certain, certain clothing, certain behavior, certain language or mannerisms belong to a certain race? Don't you think that's racist? To me, that's racist. That's what racist is saying. Hey, this action belongs to black only. This clothes, black only. This way of being, black only. This is black only. That's racist. To say it's not equal for all for someone to dress like a certain way, to not act a certain way, be a certain way, and promote themselves a certain way. To tell them they can't do that or else it belongs to a certain race, that is racist. So, the blackfishing term, nonsense. 110% nonsense. So, prove me wrong. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me, you're racist, blah, 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 blah. No, you're racist. You're overly sensitive. And the black community is looking to pretty much be, looking to contradict what their original mission was. They're looking to be hypocritical, even. Very hypocritical. So, tell me I'm not. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me I'm not. Go ahead. Do it. Do it up. I dare you. I dare you. All right. So last but not least, a topic, societal topic of my choice for this episode. I do want to, this is going to be unique, but I do want to gripe about a certain thing because it needs to be discussed. Again, that's the point of this episode, because it needs to be discussed. And this is about none other than a very popular thing being used and recreational activity being done during the months of summer, throughout summer and fall and spring and sometimes part of winter, which I don't get. But anyway, this is about motorcycles. That's right, motorcycles. Harley Davidsons, crotch rockets, machines between your legs, those little vehicle vessels that people like to rev up throughout the all hours of the day and night, whatnot, ride to go places and such and whatnot, and be disruptive with. Now, I have friends who have motorcycles, friends and some folks who have motorcycles, and I've ridden one before, and I can tell you right now, okay, I know there are many people out there who love to ride these things, and there's a lot of people out there who do. It's like a hobby. There's clubs, there's groups, there's a lot of, gangs out there and people out there that love to ride their motorcycles, right? And it's mostly in the summer and part of fall, like I said, and spring and part of winter, which I don't get, I guess. Maybe too cold, but the freedom that it gives them a thrill. It's a thrill. It's a ride. It's the wind blowing in your face. It's being independent. I feel like you're inside like some sort of vessel. I feel like you're on top of a vessel and you're riding freely to wherever on the roads to wherever you want to go, wherever your destination you're planning to go, or desired or need to be or whatever, whatnot. And that's great. I think that's fun and all. That's great and all, and such. But I think my gripe with these overpowered crotch vehicles is, you guessed it, you can take a guess, is the loud, obnoxious sounds that come from them. I find them to be very disruptive and Unnecessary. That's right. I find them to be very disruptive and very unnecessary to operate at, get this, 2 in the effing morning. I think it should be against the law to have, and it should be a noise ordinance violation, to have them be operated past a certain hour at night or early in the morning. It should be, I think, 10. It should correlate or coordinate with the regular noise ordinance, rules with curfews and such. I think it should be 10 p.m. on the weekdays and 11 a.m. on the weekend nights. So I think on the weekend, or weeknight, excuse me, it should be 10 p.m. on weeknights, and it should be 11 p.m. on the weekends. For curfew, to be able to rev your motorcycle. What if you have to work late and work past that hour and you only have your motorcycle? Well, get a car, get a vehicle. If you know you're supposed to work past a certain time, don't bring your motorcycle. Ride in a car or a very noise-temperate truck. Meaning a truck that doesn't rev and be loud at all. I think that, it's kind of hypocritical. You can't have parties and loud music and all that stuff, but you can have these vehicles that are past a certain decimal point that are clearly in violation of noise ordinances. And there's a lot of motorcycles that do that. We've had quite a few of my residents. I've had a few residents, a few people who ride motorcycles. Those people would rev their motorcycles at 2, 3 in the morning. Highly disruptive, waking me and my folks up and being a little disruptive and would and being disturbing. It's upsetting. So it's loud, it's obnoxious, and sounds that come from them, I find them to be very disruptive and unnecessary to operate at 2 in the morning. And no loud vehicle should be operated at 2 in the morning. You should really get a car if you get, and now probably give you incentive and push you to get a car to know that you can't operate your motorcycle past 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. That would be ideal for legislation, for putting into law, local law, at least local law, if not regional and national law, to put into place to not violate the noise ordinances. I have asked, and here, get this. I mean, I'm being fair here because I've asked someone who consider themselves riders, motorcycle riders, as to what they find appealing with these things, especially revving up at 2 in the morning. And I got answers like I said, they make you feel powerful. They're a thrill between your legs. They make you feel free, which I never quite understood in general, to be honest, with motorcycles, because now, like I said, I've ridden a motorcycle before, and I don't believe I don't think I've ever thought, damn, like, man, I feel dominant. I feel power between my legs. I feel powerful. I feel like I'm in charge here. I've never felt that way towards them. Primarily because I felt that I had those things already before getting on a bike, and feel that motorcycles are primarily a transportation vehicle, not a machine to disturb people with all hours of the night. Like I said, they're just a transportation vehicle, which is, they ultimately are. I never felt the need need for power or manliness or dominance because, well, I am a man, I am dominant, and I have experienced more than enough power from other sources than I could count, that I don't need to ride a machine that produces obnoxious sounds to the public to be disruptive in order to feel that way. So that's just my feelings. That's just my 2 cents worth. Continue to do it. Maybe they'll come up with legislation. Maybe they won't. Who knows? We will see, right? We will see. So, all right. Well, we have reached the end of the episode. And once again, we have reached the end of the episode. I would like to thank IPMNation.com's president and CEO, Matt Connarton, for giving us a spot. And, of course, all of you listeners for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to next week episode. Actually, I need to make an announcement. I goofed. I made a goof. So because I just realized that next week is a special function. Not only do I have a road race, but I have other things going on next weekend that I have to attend and have to do that I can't get around. That I've tried rescheduling and getting around, and there's no way I'm unable to, and I was unable to. So because of that, next week, episode 26 will not be next week. Will not be July 18th. The next episode 26, will be the week following that, the 25th. Okay, the 25th of July, and that'll be episode 26, available at 10 a.m. on IPMNation.com. And that episode is where I'll address your questions and comments that you've made from this episode and previous episodes from before, so that have not been answered or addressed yet. So because of further commitments, again, next week, episode 26 will not be next week. Excuse me. It will be on the 25th, the week following, and available for download on IPMNation.com at 10 a.m. And there I will discuss more of the further developments on what President Biden has been doing, on what's been going on with the former guy, more developments on world news and other things going on with the Olympics and such. And I'll also give up more updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations, as well as another headhunt segment and 2 more societal topics of my choice. Again, that's episode 26, which will air not next Sunday, but the following Sunday, the 25th, on IPMNation.com, 10 a.m. on IPMNation.com. So keep note and tabs on that. Also, feel free to check out Matt Connarton's Matt Connarton Unleashed, weekdays at 4 p.m. on 95.3 WMNH and here on IPMNation.com. All right, on the behalf of Courtesy Call Podcast, I'm your host, Scott Perry. Be kind, be mindful, and do your parts. Have a great week. I'm heading to Maine. Take care.